brain rot, a term that has social media users, especially TikTok, on a chokehold. So, what exactly is brain rot? Brain rot is a slang term used to describe the mental degradation or cognitive decline that can occur from consuming too much low-quality or mindless content. It's a phenomenon where the brain feels overstimulated but undernourished, much like how junk food fills you up without providing any real nutritional value. The term encapsulates the idea that constantly feeding your brain trivial or repetitive information can lead to a decrease in mental sharpness, focus, and overall cognitive well-being. It may seem like a cool term and a joke, however, brain rot has the ability to change your brain for the worse. But first, let us learn how our brain works first. To understand the science behind brain rot, let's break it down into simpler concepts. So, think about it like this. Your brain is like a supercomputer that processes tons of information every day. It has different parts that work together to help you think, learn, remember, and make decisions. The neurons, which are the brain's messengers, send and receive information all the time. Just imagine them as tiny wires connecting different parts of your brain, allowing you to think, feel, and move. Same as neurotransmitters, which are chemicals that help neurons talk to each other. One important neurotransmitter is dopamine. This neurotransmitter makes you feel good when you do something enjoyable, like playing a game or eating your favorite snack. The prefrontal cortex is like the brain's control center. This part of the brain helps you focus, make decisions, and solve problems. So, what happens to this part of the brain when you consume mindless content? Well, every time you watch a video, play a game, or scroll through social media, your brain is hard at work processing that information. First of all, dopamine hits. When you see something you like let's say a funny video or a cool meme, your brain releases dopamine. Dopamine feels like a reward, and it makes you feel good and encourages you to keep watching or scrolling. On platforms like TikTok or YouTube, the content is often short and quick. This gives your brain a lot of dopamine hits in a short amount of time, and so your brain starts to crave more of this instant gratification, which is the quick and easy feeling of satisfaction. When your brain is constantly bombarded with these short bursts of information, it gets overstimulated. It's like if you tried to listen to a dozen different songs all at once. Eventually, it would be hard to focus on any one song. Now let's talk about what happens when you get too much of this kind of stimulation. Number one is, of course, reduced attention span. Because your brain has gotten used to processing quick, easy information. When you try to focus on something longer or more complex, like reading a book or studying, it becomes harder. Your prefrontal cortex has to work harder to keep you focused, but it gets tired more easily because it's not getting the quick dopamine hits it's used to. A compulsive need to stay updated can exacerbate stress levels and lead to obsessive checking behaviors. When your brain is constantly overstimulated, it can lead to mental fatigue. This is when your brain feels tired and sluggish, even if you haven't done anything physically exhausting. It's like running a marathon with your mind. Your brain, it needs time to rest and recover. The third thing is shallow thinking. Because you're used to fast, simple content, you might start to avoid tasks that require deep thinking or problem solving. This is because your brain prefers the quick, easy reward it gets from watching another video rather than doing something that requires effort. Prolonged disengagement from meaningful activities and social interactions can also contribute to feelings of sadness and hopelessness. Emotional numbness. Overexposure to sensationalized content can desensitize emotional responses, leading to apathy or indifference. Reduced face-to-face interaction can also lead to withdrawal from real-world social activities, weakening relationships with family and friends. Less practice in social settings can impair verbal and nonverbal communication abilities, making social interactions more challenging. And because social media content is usually curated to a person's liking, it may lead to limited exposure to diverse perspectives, and real-life experiences can reduce the ability to understand and share the feelings of others. Over-reliance on digital communication may hinder the ability to read emotional cues in face-to-face interactions. If you keep consuming this kind of content without giving your brain a break, some long-term effects might include 1. difficulty in learning. You may struggle to learn new things or retain information because it's not used to working hard. It's like a muscle that gets weak if you don't exercise it. 2. Increased anxiety. Overstimulation can also make you feel anxious or restless. Your brain is always on the lookout for the next quick hit of dopamine, which can make it hard to relax or focus on important tasks. Less creativity. As creativity often comes from connecting different ideas and thinking deeply about things. If your brain is only focused on consuming quick content, it might not have the space or energy to come up with new creative ideas. Habitual engagement with shallow content encourages surface-level thinking, thus reducing the ability to analyze complex ideas critically. These are some of the reasons why you should avoid brain rot at all costs. But how can you do that? To avoid brain rot, it's important to balance your content consumption with activities that challenge your brain in a good way, like reading books which help you focus and think deeply, giving your prefrontal cortex a workout. Playing strategy games that require planning and thinking ahead help keep your brain sharp. Physical activity increases blood flow to your brain, helping it stay healthy and strong. And also, giving your brain time to rest and recharge by taking breaks from screens and doing something relaxing, like going for a walk or drawing, helps keep your brain healthy. You can also practice mindful consumption and set intentional limits by deciding ahead of time how much time you'll spend on digital devices and stick to it. You can also curate your content and be selective about the content you consume. Focus on high quality, educational, or meaningful material that engages your brain rather than just passing time. And instead of passively scrolling, try to engage more actively with the content you consume. Ask questions, take notes, or discuss what you've learned with others. If you are easily distracted, then make use of the Pomodoro technique. The Pomodoro technique is a time management method that helps improve focus and productivity by breaking work into intervals, typically 25 minutes long, called Pomodoros, followed by short breaks. First, you need to select a specific task or set of tasks to focus on. Then, set a timer for 25 minutes. This 25-minute period is your Pomodoro, where you focus on the task at hand for the entire 25 minutes and avoid any distractions like checking your phone or social media. Once the 25 minutes are up, you take a short break, normally around 5 minutes, and use this time to relax, stretch, or do something unrelated to work. After the break, you can start another Pomodoro session. I hope this helps. See you in the next video.